Hello, I am Lorena Hickok, and this is my dear friend Eleanor Roosevelt.
Hello.
So we are going to be doing an interview today. I'll start off with, where and when were you born?
I was born in New York City in October of 1884. Both of my parents were from wealthy families, so I was born also into the higher society.
And what was growing up like for you?
Well, though we were wealthy and we looked all right from the outside with the parties and everything, life was difficult. My father was an alcoholic and he had health problems. And my mother, though she was a good person, but she wasn't very affectionate towards me. We never had a very good relationship. She was one of the most beautiful people I knew, and she never thought I was pretty or good enough. She called me the ugly duckling of the family. And anyway, she passed away of diphtheria when I was only 8 years old. And my father, he died several years
That's been
later.
hard.
It was difficult, and so after both of my parents passed away, I went to live with my grandmother until I was 15. And when I was 15, she made the decision that I should go to the school called Allenswood, and it's in London, or near London. And there I went, and there was a teacher, her name was Madame Sylvester, and she taught us many things, and I developed stable relationships I'd never had before. And I was inspired to change the world from that, and that was very important for me.
And how many kids do you have again? I forget all the names.
Oh, well, I have 5 children. There's Anna Eleanor, there's James, there's Elliot, there's Franklin Delano Jr., and John. And there would have been a 6th one, but he died. He was my 3rd child, and he died at 8 months of influenza and pneumonia. That was difficult.
And what was some of the challenges of being married to Franklin?
Well, Franklin, he was raised in a family that loved him and that was stable and supported him, so he was overly confident. And I struggled because I didn't feel that confident, and he was, and so we didn't always agree on things. And also he was quite flirtatious. He was a charming young man who could sweep all the ladies off their feet, and that was difficult for me, I suppose, and especially later on when he had some affairs. The first one with Lucy Mercer, who was my social secretary, that when I found out about their affair, I was very upset, and our relationship was never the same. We were more like a political partnership than a marriage. And also there was Franklin's mother, Sarah. She had good intentions, but she was overly controlling and took everything upon herself to do without my consent, and I just felt like I had no control of my life.
But overall, were you excited that he became president, or?
Well, I supported him. I did all I could to help him, but I was not thrilled with the idea of becoming First Lady.
I see. And why was that? Like living in the White House with maids and servants and butlers just sounds like it would be a wonderful place to be.
That was wonderful, but what I didn't like about being First Lady was people knew you. Everybody knows you as First Lady, all over the world, and so there's always people watching you, always people talking about you, and sometimes they say good things and sometimes they say horrible things. And about the watching, one time I went horseback riding in the mornings. That's something I love doing, and I went out, and it was early, so I didn't think anybody was out there, and I got back to the home, and someone asked me, because they'd seen me get bucked off the horse and fall and while I was riding, and I was just surprised because I didn't think anyone was watching. And just other funny things like that have happened, and people would always criticize me for the things I did, for working in soup kitchens and in the slums where it was dirty and dangerous, and people just didn't think that some of the things were fitting for a First Lady.
And if you could leave a lasting impact on anything, what would it be?
I would definitely encourage women to vote, because we recently have attained the right to vote, and I think that's terrific. And I think that we need to be educated about what's going on, and I think we need to just vote and participate in politics as much as possible. And I would also like to have lived a life that set an example for First Ladies, future ones, to not just hide behind their husband's power, but to also make an impact on their own.
And who are people that have influenced you to be the person that you are?
My father and also my uncle Teddy Roosevelt, they both were not afraid to work with people to get their hands dirty, so to speak. And they taught me to have compassion for people and to help people in any way I could. And they were loving for me, and that helped me feel needed and inspired me. And also Madame Sylvester from Allenswood in London. She also taught us to, help people.
So who do you consider a hero?
A hero to me is anybody who sees the misery of people around them or not around them, and they are inspired and compelled to live their life just dedicated to bettering that. Those are people who inspire me.
Exactly. And you've done a lot in your life. It's incredible how you've always managed the ability to pull all these things off. And so is there anything that you're most proud of?
There's probably two things I'm most proud of. One thing is the UDHR, Universal Declaration of Human Rights. And I worked with the UN for that, and I'm a big supporter of the UN. It's held a close place in my heart. And also there's the CWA, which is the Civil Works Administration, and it was part of the New Deal of when my husband was president. And originally, the Civil Works Administration only addressed male workers. It didn't talk about women laborers at all. And so I held a conference, and we wrote that down, so we had a new proposal that included women. And within 1 year, 100,000 women had jobs in the CWA.
It's amazing.
Yes, it was wonderful.
And what else do you enjoy doing?
I love to spend time at my cottage. It's called Valkill. It's in New York, and it's just a peaceful little place in a forest, and I like to go there to relax and to get work done alone. And of course I love to spend time with the family there. There's a swimming pool and a little pond. I love to do that.
Well, it's been such a great time talking to you again, and I look forward to going to Valkill next weekend.
Yes. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.